Whew. What's up, y'all? It's your boy Mars. As always at the beginning, get it situated. What the shit behind my back? What's good, y'all? Jose. Miss Nina, congratulations. How you doing? There it is. Whew. We about to get started pretty soon. What y'all up to? It is 9 o'clock on a summer day night. Thursday. About to get into some conversation. Hopefully some good conversation. Because tonight we got an ex-pro athlete coming on. He used to play for the Green Bay Packs. Undrafted. 2011. Free agent. And he's doing a bunch of different things. So he requested to go in. I kind of introduced him, but I'll introduce him again when he gets on. Move this mic a little bit.
What up? What up?
Man, what's good, homie?
Man, I'm just chilling right now.
It's good to have you on, man. I said you look like me when I started.
We got the same everything.
There, bro. I swear, some people said that about the flyer. Good to have you, bro. Good to have you here, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Appreciate you, your time, and I'm gonna give you a quick intro. But we can wait about a couple of minutes. What you up to right now?
Man, just chilling. I was actually really just watching this show on Netflix called The Unexplained. It's pretty like detailed, like talking about mysterious places and everything. It's pretty crazy.
Oh, you rabbit holing right now.
So I was watching that. But other than that, man, I've just been chilling, man, just being more in prayer. Just doing that, for my mind. A lot of people, they think of mental health as, it's crazy that I'm talking about this right now, but they think of mental health as just like, how could I say, like, I think when it comes to mental health, it's self-care, but it's understanding who you are too. It's an identity crisis. That's why you feeling like that.
Acknowledgement, recognition,
yes,
consciousness. Yeah.
So to me, it's an identity crisis. Like you're trying to figure out who you are. Like a part of who you are, but do you truly know who you are? And if you're a believer, like me, I'm a believer in Jesus Christ. You're going to add that into your mental. It's your thoughts. So in prayer, even when you speak to yourself, it's like you're praying. When you're talking out loud, it's like prayer.
Mm-hmm. And we're gonna get into some of that stuff. We're definitely gonna get into some of that stuff. Let me introduce you since we five in. Let me introduce you. So today we got a special guest. My man's Diondre Borel.
Diondre.
I'm sorry, Diondre Borel. My bad, brother.
Sorry.
He played college at Utah State, right? Am I right?
Yeah.
And he signed an undrafted free agent in 2011.
For sure. Yep.
To the Green Bay Packers.
Green Bay Packers.
Nice. And I just want you to introduce yourself to other people, basically about a little bit about your past, whatever you want to share, and then kind of what you're doing now.
So undrafted free agent, Green Bay Packers, man, just a lot of different experiences, but just playing in the NFL, undrafted, 2011. I used to play at Utah State. So Utah State, I played quarterback, and I started 3 out of the 4 years there. So my freshman year, I tried to go in, and I was like, let me go back to wide receiver. And I was like, nah. I went through the whole year, and it just didn't work out. And they promised me to go back to quarterback. So I went back to quarterback my sophomore year. Me and this junior college quarterback were rotating every single time, rotating every series. And from that point on, the fourth game, I just started playing the rest of my college career as a starter. And that's when I went on to play professional with the Green Bay Packers as a free agent. So I went in as a wide receiver, return specialist. So I was doing all that. It was pretty good. It was a great experience. And then I played professional in other leagues as well. What's up, Inca? That's my
Welcome,
right
people.
there. That's my homegirl. That's my homegirl, Inca. She's a former Olympian.
Nice, nice.
She gonna go again. We gonna say you gonna go again. We speak that. Speak life into that.
We're gonna try to get her on here too. We're trying to get her on here too. Go ahead and
She
follow
will,
us, Nika. This is the
for
stuff we're
sure.
talking about. But go ahead and finish, brother. What kind of stuff are you up to now?
So right now I'm doing performance training. Yeah. So I'm doing a performance. I'm a performance coach. That's what I call myself. Label myself as a performance coach. Um, so I'm doing that. So performance training, youth athletes, high school athletes, and then adults that desire to stay healthy and fit. So that's my main goal right there. Doing that, I want to be able to create an atmosphere where there's transformation mentally, physically, and spiritually. And that's through physical training, of course, but the mental part of it and prayer. So I'm putting all three together because if you want to perform, not just in your sport, but in your life, you need all three. You know, whether it's putting the right food in your body, putting the right words into your body, your mind, prayer. You know what I mean? It just all makes sense. So you want to be overall well-rounded. So if you're not playing at the professional level, whether it's football or any type of pro sport, you'll be able to take what you learn from my business and what we're offering and take it into your personal life. So you'll always be successful.
And
And
you're giving out those independent skills as well.
yep.
Yeah,
So and then also
mentoring
say
and
it
stuff
again.
as well. You're doing
Yeah.
some mentoring. Yep, I do some of the mentoring as well, and that's a big part of it. It's a big part of it. And you said God, mental, and physical, right? And so that's
Yes. Yes.
a holistic approach, right? And people,
Yeah. People say the holistic, but I just say that's just life. You
yeah,
know, that's
right,
real life.
yeah. Holistic kind of turns people away a little bit, but the holistic approach basically just means different avenues, a bunch of different avenues, kind of like how you have, your way is spiritual, what I mean, and maintaining, working out your brain and your body. I
For
love that,
sure.
especially
For
for you,
sure.
right? Because you're mentoring and stuff, right?
Yes. So I want to be able to have like character development, do that too in there. Let's see. And also, I'm also currently doing speaking. So people say motivational speaker. You know, I had a master coach and she said on her page it said impact speaker. I said, is it okay if I use that? She said, however you feel about yourself. So I said impact speaker. Um, but I just say, I'm just a speaker that's shifting the atmosphere. You know what I mean? Like I'm an atmosphere shifter. That's what I do.
Breaking trend.
So, and I use that with my voice. So I'm an atmosphere shifting speaker. We'll just say that. And
Most people they'll say that because she's gonna call you a speaker. Some of the people probably in your realm as well, being a man of God, they call you preacher. they
yeah,
call you
they'll say
preacher.
that.
They say you got preaching in your future. You hang around some of the people from the church, um,
Yeah,
because you got something good to say, and it's actually the thing about preaching is basically empowering the community in different ways. You know what I mean? And that's the best part of being a man of God, first of all, and then being a man with influential talk. You know what I mean? Having something to say and experience like you. That's why I love that I'm able to get you here today.
for
So,
sure.
without further ado, let's get into it. I'm gonna crack another question with you. So, how was your sports journey, and how's that shaped you today?
Just my sports journey. Just being able to, um, I say just always knowing that I can do it, regardless if it was sports or just saying, hey, Diondre, you can go do this. When I told myself, basically what I'm saying is whatever I spoke to myself, I knew I could go do it. So whether it was playing football, whether it's playing at a Division I college, I always truly believed in myself. And now that's where I feel and see where God's taking me. We go through life experience, and then we may lose those thoughts and that belief and that confidence, you know, from a child, and then you have your adult years and you start, you know, sometimes life happens.
Life.
So things stop. You know, things will stop, but you're still going, and then you think about the past, and then it just keeps replaying in your mind as you're going forward. But then it's like you don't have that same confidence. And then you talk about your past as if it's your present, but it's not. Even with the past, like good things, like even the good things. But it's like that's not who you are now. And just shaped, like how it shaped me now, I'd say I'm coming back to that as I was as a child. So now everything that I'm actually asking and praying for and seeing and doing is all going to happen. It's at a greater magnitude because me having awareness of God, and he's in the midst of it. So he's above all things. So now because he's above all things and I know it's him, it's all going to work out. And now I have a foundation. And maybe previously I wasn't building on a foundation, or I was building on my own foundation, and it wasn't, you know, wasn't sturdy enough. So at the end of the day, that's where I see how it's molding me and shaping me into a greater man.
Confidence.
Say it again.
I said, so this, the new, after the sports and all that stuff, you start focusing on yourself and using God's template. You just start bringing back some of that confidence you had.
Yes, more confidence, more belief, more faith. It's just greater now because I'm aware of it. So I'd say like, huh?
That conscious effort.
Yes, definitely. Because like my obedience is one thing that I've always seen as a child. And like when I was disobedient, as I was getting older, I see like, dang, I can't get in trouble. If I get in trouble, I see what's going on. But God always wanted me to stay obedient. So sometimes when people speak to me, they probably be thinking like I'm not a mean person, but I'm just straightforward to where, hey, this is what you need to do to get what you want. And people don't like that.
Absolutely. A lot of people don't like that because that means they got to look at themselves. And that's one of the first steps that you mentioned, being conscious. You know what I mean? Being conscious. Miss Inca said you definitely had an impact on her life. Definitely.
For sure. We, because we met, hold on one second, my bad.
You good, brother?
We met at the track meet in Nashville. I think it's Music City, Nashville. Track meet, and you know, she was performing high jump. That's what she does. She's 5'4", but she jumps like 6'5.5". Yeah. No, so she got it down.
Olympian, always Olympian. What she got? I got some Olympian in my blood. My grandfather was an Olympian. We'll talk about that another time.
Yep. So when I met her, she wasn't jumping how she wanted. And I was watching her, me and a group of people, you know, we were standing right there by the high jump pit. And she walked in through the gate when she was done, and I asked her, you know, how'd you do? And she came over, we had conversation, and, you know, that's how we started talking, you know, talking about God and just, you know, things that were happening in her life. But she had her breakthrough, you know what I mean? It was her moment, and I was just grateful to be a light and a vessel to her and just being able to create that relationship and that conversation. You know, someone seeing my light, you know, my light was shining, and I saw her. So it was meant to be.
I usually think that because something like that happened to me as well when I started being conscious of and coherent of my choices, and that I was in control of my life, right? For the most part. People of substance start popping up because you start focusing on yourself. You start focusing on who's around you. You start focusing on the energy that you are letting around you, or that you're absorbing around you. And so once you start paying attention to that, actual people start popping up that is actually good for your journey. Have you noticed that? Would you say that that's probably around the same time?
definitely.
That's the
Because
or did you say in your spiritual journey? That's God. That's a sign, right?
this guy, yeah, because just me even wanting to go to this actual event, I told myself I wanted to go. And it was on Sunday. So, usually I go to church on Sunday, and I'm like, well, I'm just staying obedient to what God said to go do. So that's what I did. I went at the specific time. I was like, dang, do I go to church? And I'm like, well, I'm going on assignment. At the end of the day, it's like a
Yeah.
short mission trip. You know what I mean? It's a short mission trip. And I met her and another young lady and just having that conversation. It was just like the timing was right. And
So
that
you
was
you
it.
were spitting out just what you already do. You weren't being somebody else. You weren't there posing. You weren't there for a different mission. You were there to be there, and you just impacted somebody else's life by being yourself. And that's the
Right.
greatest part about this journey of self-conscious. So
For sure.
it's just the best about being yourself.
Definitely.
Um, let's see. So we got about a couple. I don't want to take too much of your time, but I do want to chit chat. And guys, if you ever want to come in, just ask me if you want to come in. We can add at least two more people. We can chit chat. We don't want to ask them too many questions, but what did you see mental health wise from players around you? You don't have to name drop, but what did you see mental health wise from players around you? And kind of like what was you thinking? I know during that time was a different headspace than now, but kind of what kind of stuff did you see was kind of off about some players, or that was different ways that they were coping with their mental health?
I think just some people were in relationships. Some people had wives, they were early age. Like I was 23, maybe they were like 27 and married. Some of them had kids. It's like you could tell everyone was kind of like on their own, doing their own thing. So it's not like college where I guess, well, in college, you're always around your teammates, class and all that. But football, I mean, NFL, we were just there for meetings. After that, they go to their families and do their own thing. Some people dealt with it smoking. Some people dealt with it drinking. Like it was just a lot. So we just never really knew it was on each other's mind, especially like competition. We competing. Like we're teammates, but we're competing. Like, man, I'm still trying to stay on the team.
Yeah,
Man, I'm still need to do this work.
yeah, I see.
So you just never know what someone else is thinking or if they do want to actually help because you don't know. You know what I mean? You had a
Yeah,
few guys in there that were a little bit older, maybe like 35, 33, 34, and you could tell like they're not tripping. They're not worried, and I think that just pertains to life.
hmm
When you're around people sometimes your age, sometimes they don't really want to see you go higher than them.
yeah.
But you got them older folk that are willing to be mentors and be there. So I think with the NFL, just with my teammates, everybody did different things, man. Whether it was going out, whether it's talking to girls, just doing different things, and you just never know what's going on in their mind.
hmm
And I think it's like we spend so much time practicing film room, and it's like, yeah, you want to go have fun, like finally get a break. Um,
But then
so
you want to rest.
yeah, for sure.
That's
And
wild.
some days it would feel like, we weren't resting a lot, or like we would get Tuesdays off. Usually Tuesday would be off. Then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday practice, Saturday walkthrough, Sunday game. Monday is like a lift day, but you're still there for install for the following, for that upcoming week, and you're there till like 3:30 or 4. So
And then
people
you
don't
have to be
understand that.
isolated by position most of the time too, right?
Yep. So we'll do like team meetings, do all that stuff, but it's like people don't understand what comes with that. With at least with NFL, they don't understand that. They just think to go out and play a game. No, you have to be disciplined. You got to be obedient. You got to know your plays. They don't know what we doing in practice every day. You know what I mean? You got to catch the balls in practice.
Yeah.
And they get mad when people drop balls in the game. It's like, bro, we practice to not drop the pass. We
Yeah.
practice to make that perfect throw. We practice to make the tackle. We don't just go, or else they would be cutting us and it would be over.
Oh yeah.
No
I
job.
can't I
So
can't imagine that, especially when you got a fantasy. plays probably plays a big mental health part. Like I didn't even think about it. I didn't even write that down. But fantasy probably plays a big mental health part in playing, trying to play your best, trying not to get hurt, people talking crap.
For sure. And that's all comes in with that. And people don't understand that with professional sports.
Yeah.
Like most of the time it doesn't bother us. Like, oh, okay, a fan's talking mess. I mean, college they were talking all that
We get
crap.
used to it by then.
Yeah, so it didn't really matter. It's just like, oh, they just talking at this point.
Mm-hmm.
But just when people think they know what they're talking about, it's like, dog, you have no idea. That's why you're over there cheering and we're playing here on this field.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like you're a fan, but you just don't know what all goes on.
Speaking
And
of
that's a
which,
lot, huh?
oh, you good. You keep going.
Yeah, that's a lot of pressure. To me, that's a lot of pressure for the normal human being. Would you be able to withstand this pressure? Going to practice, waking up at 6 o'clock, going there to lift weights at 7.
Yeah.
Yep, you got to answer questions. You got to answer to your coaches, especially if you get in trouble. Then you don't know if you're going to get cut. You don't know if it's going to leave a paper trail on your name. Now, when you get cut, okay, the teams want to sign you again. Like, that's all been my experience.
Yeah.
So people don't get that. It's like, nah, man, like, this is real life. And then you adding on to whatever issues you have in your personal life on top of the game. So it just all.
Then you got Sunday.
Yep.
On top of that, you got Sunday to worry about. Yeah. So speaking of which, I want to ask about that. Since we're talking about how people don't really understand that athletes are human beings as well, they go through things just as other people do, you know. And then we got to get on TV and put on a show, you know. But so with the competitive edge and all that stuff, remember back when Cam Newton lost in, I think it was 2014, 15. No, it was 2015, 2016. That year, Cam Newton lost the Super Bowl, 2015, 2016. That was right. When he came up there and he left the podium after he was bombarded with all of these, you know, horrendous questions, and he acted accordingly as anybody else would if they got asked these questions on the street. And then he was bombarded again in the media for just leaving out. Would you say that's an actual representation of people not understanding that other people are human beings as well?
Yeah, I think so. You know, they think that athletes should be perfect. We're not perfect. We're human beings. Like, there's nothing. The only difference is we get paid more. We practice something that we love doing at a high level. At a high level. That's the difference. So when we're there, it's like, no, I'm not gonna put on this act. I'm gonna be me and just do what I'm doing. Like, you know, that's life's pressure. You know, I've been performing at the best. I done got to the Super Bowl. I done did this, and now you're asking me all these questions as if I wasn't putting in the work to get here.
Yeah.
That doesn't make no sense.
Yeah.
So now you're over here asking me questions that you know personally. When you're asking these questions, you know what you're doing.
Yeah. And
so
a lot
why
of people just be like, it's my job. I've heard a lot of reporters say that. Come on, man, it's my job. But what does that have to do? You still have personal issues while you go through your job as well. You know what I mean? And you have times when you don't want to answer questions. Now, I know it's part of you guys' job as far as contracts go to answer certain questions. You know, Marshawn Lynch went through that. But he was going through a time where he wasn't really talking about his mental health at that time. You know, and it wasn't respected through the NFL and it wasn't respected through the media. So that's kind of the stuff that gets swept under the rug, because this is why I started Misfit Talk, the sports mental health section, which thanks for you to being the first person. I'm getting a lot more people on here, but just the lack of knowledge, number one, and then the lack of talking about sports mental health, even though, you know, people are crying out. You got Gabby Douglas, Kyrie Irving, who was the other lady that Serena Williams a couple years back after she had the baby too. You know what I mean? There was a whole bunch of stuff. You know, people are not really paying attention. Would you say?
For sure. I think it's big now because we're not robots, bro. Even human beings, like, they need to understand that. See, they see what we do and then they have something to say. But then it's like, have you have you taken a look at yourself in the mirror and understand like who you need to be in order to make a positive impact on somebody else's life? No, because what you've gone through in your life hasn't been the greatest thing. So you don't even know how to approach what we're doing. And I think it's just like in pro sports, just with all the people you've named, it's something that people like you have to grow, right? You're growing and learning. You don't just stay the same. And a lot of coaches and people want to stay the same. They don't want to evolve. You want to evolve into something greater, so you must do something differently to become greater. And that's what I see in coaches. Like, you cannot just be the same coach. Yes, you have your principles and your morals for the team and your disciplinary acts, but also you have to be a people person.
Yeah.
It just can't just be all about you need to do this, you need to do that. Yes, that's a part of it. But when this person is done playing football, if they decide that tomorrow they don't even want to be the top wide receiver or quarterback in the NFL anymore, what lasting impact are you going to have on them that they can say, you know what, he helped me become a better person. He helped me elevate with my family or my faith. Who are you going to be? And I don't believe coaches really think about that. They think more about, yes, it's a business, but if you're believing, like I said, like if you're believing like I'm believing, and you're trusting and you do have faith in the Lord, then why would it matter about the wins and losses? You want to win with the people too. You don't want to just have a good record on, oh yeah, I got this receiver or I got this quarterback, or I got this DB, and we did this. It's like, no, are you going to leave a lasting impact on them for a lifetime, not temporarily? Because you
Yeah.
see all these athletes.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Mike Tomlin said something about that just recently on one of his interviews. How he was. Did you happen to see it?
No, I haven't.
Okay, so he was basically talking about how coaches don't want to reform, not reform, don't want to change. You know what I mean? Certain stuff they don't want to take accountability. They like to throw it on on the players. You know what I mean? They'll throw stuff on the players. They'll be like, "Well, this is the system, and they didn't adhere to the system," and different things like that. So what you're speaking is true. Other coaches see it. Mike Tomlin is speaking on it. You know what I mean?
Oh, for sure.
Somebody asked him, when do you know like it's time to cut a player or something like that? He's like, I mean, you know right away if you're a good coach. It's just like you either work with them or you don't. You know what I mean? But as a good coach, you take responsibility for a player not being good. You know
For
what I mean?
sure.
And a lot of I hear it all the time. A coach blaming it on the player. I hear it all the time, and that actually weighs on mental health as well. if you would say so, that's a lot of pressure that is being
Definitely.
pushed under the rug by the media
Definitely.
and I'm surprised that it's just now, not even just now, but it's just still sprinkled around. It's still sprinkled around, and people are still treating people like crap, like Sha'Carri Richardson. You know, her mother had just passed, and people were bombarding her with all these opinions that don't matter. You know,
Right.
so
No, I'm already knowing. It's like, I guess you could say, instead of pointing the finger, what are you doing to help the problem?
solution.
You know what I mean?
What solutions are
What's
you
the
bringing?
solution? Yeah, what solution you bringing? And that's what I see. It's like, maybe she does need someone
Yeah,
to speak to, but no one's reaching. I don't even know if anyone reaches out. It's more like at the end of the day, you got to do and be the best person you can be. You got to step out your own comfort zone. And people will say all these things, but then they won't do anything about it. That's the thing. Like, you want to talk about it, but you ain't doing nothing about it. So what are you doing about it? And even what you said about players, like coaches blaming players, they do that. And you're a product of, you are the one that's helping create this. If you know what I mean? So
or his
how about
legacy,
you?
and that for that matter, or a coach's legacy for that matter, is the players.
All right.
I mean, you can coach up all you want. I'm sure I'm sure you've seen that as a player. You can coach up all you want, draw it up all nice and pretty. But if somebody comes out there, slips on the play, and then you throw an interception, it is what
Right.
it is. You know, I mean, the players are the bread and butter. You know, you were just the store. You know,
Right.
and coaches need to realize that as well. It's an outdated system, as we know. What's his name over there at that just left the Dolphins? You know, this system is not meant for us. You know,
Flores, yeah, Brian Flores.
yeah, Brian.
Yeah, yeah, I'm already knowing. And that was my experience too. Like certain coaches, you could see how they would be. We had certain coaches, and I'll just be like, "Dang, what's up, Paris? We got certain. You got to interview him. That's my brother right here, Big P House.
Big P House, what's up, homie? Definitely
Um,
follow me. I want to chat.
but I've had plenty of coaches. Certain coaches that were cool, certain coaches that weren't, and it was just like my experience in Arizona. We was winning championships, but it was like, why am I not playing? We had so many different players that was ballers and people that wasn't playing, and it was like, dang, it's like,
System.
yeah, it felt like we were just getting held back because we wanted more, meaning like we wanted to go to a higher place. We wanted to play at a higher level, and it was like,
this is where we're
it was,
supposed to be.
yeah, it was like,
it's already fixed. It's fixed.
yep.
Yeah.
So I was like, dang, that's how you gonna do us? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm like, man, I can't even
Money
do what I'm doing.
You can't mess up the money flow.
Yeah, I can't even do what I'm doing because it's like when I ball out, then I'm gonna dip.
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah.
When this quarterback balls out, my
I didn't
homie.
even think about that. I didn't even think about that. They're looking out for their best interest as well. You can ball out, and I know you good, but you can't ball out on TV for the scouts.
Yep.
That's crazy. I didn't even think about that aspect. And so you got
people
hindering your growth.
Definitely, and that's what it felt like. Literally, I don't really care what anyone says. When I was there in 2017, that was my worst experience in football.
Where were you at?
Arizona Rattlers.
Okay.
Yeah, my homeboy Darren Thomas, he played at Oregon.
Mm-hmm.
He was playing quarterback, and I'm just putting it out there like he was playing quarterback, doing his thing. And like game 3, they put in another quarterback, and that quarterback just played the whole time. He would always tell Darren, don't run the football. And when the other quarterback got in, what was he doing? Running.
Darren was good at running, huh?
Yeah, Darren could throw, he could run, and the other quarterback was more pocket passer, but he would run. And I'm just like, bruh, why are you telling? And he would tell me that Darren would be like, you see how he be doing it? He be getting mad when I'm running the ball, but then when he run the ball, it's okay. And I'm like, that's crazy. I remember when I was playing, I played like 1 or 2 games, and after that, they were just straight lying. Straight lying.
Kaepernick, you seen that Kaepernick documentary thing on Netflix?
Yep, I seen that.
Is it kind of like that? Did it feel kind of like that?
Yeah, it's similar. It's like they have their favorite.
They wanted the face was gonna be that the white quarterback instead of him.
Yep. Yeah, that's how it was. And people could say otherwise. Like right now, they got a African American quarterback on their team, and he balling. But it's like almost one of those things. Like now you got to evolve as a coach.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
That's why Patriots couldn't really take Cam because we like, well, hold on, we need him. We need somebody for now, but we're not gonna go that route. We're not that kind of team. Yeah. System.
So it was like it was pretty similar there in Arizona, and it was just crazy how they were doing it. I was just like, wow, always lying about practice. Oh, we gonna see who gonna play for this game. And every time they'll tell us the day before, oh, Diondre, you're not playing. And I'll be like, all right, bro, like, what am I practicing?
So you go hard all week.
Yeah, so that was a part of my mental health right there because the things I was doing off the field, I'd just go out. I would drink over the weekend, like, normal stuff, what people do, go out on a Sunday, practice on Monday. I'd be like, you know what, bro, I'm finna dog these.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? At practice, I don't even care. And I'll just be doing my thing at practice. And I don't care what anybody say. I don't care if the coach got on his live. He did not like what I was doing because I was actually making plays on his guys.
Gotcha.
And it was hard for him to say, good job. Yeah. I remember one day I made a couple plays. Yeah. I made a couple plays on his guy. He's like, nice catch, Borel. But it was like so like calm. It was just like, yeah, bro, because
Yeah.
I know what you're doing. Like, you know what I mean? But I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing, and you get mad internally. But that wasn't the right way to deal with it.
Hey, but you don't
And
know
that,
that at the time, as well as
yeah,
you're doing all you can, and people tend to think, oh, if you don't poke at a bear, it's not gonna run at. They said don't poke the bear. That's why they say that. You know what I mean? Some people just, consistently poke and poke and poke athletes and wonder why they they go off on these coaches and other players. You
and
know?
that's when man, and after that, that's what really like made me go through my mental thing, because I was mad going to practice. I didn't really care about my teammates. I'm like, bruh,
You see that a
y'all just,
lot. Players
yeah, I was
that
like,
don't care
y'all,
about the system.
I'm like, y'all just puppets right now, bruh. And y'all will do anything he says just because we're in Arizona. Y'all just all blinded by that stuff, and I wasn't.
That's a good, interesting way you say that. What kind of feedback did you get? Because one of these questions said like, how do you feel about the either other celebrities or golden stars, so you say, like people in the limelight exploit their families for popular gain and all that stuff while they're being puppets, and you were being like, I see what's going on here. What
Dude,
kind of feedback do you get from those people?
and I could just see it when I talk to him. It's almost like, bro, were you telling the coach what I was saying? Like that. Like, dang, it seemed like you was the person that go tell him
Oh, after.
all this stuff. But I never really cared, because I'm like, at the end of the day, bro, what is he doing for you?
Yeah.
Is he helping you go play in the NFL? No. You've been here for 3-4 years. And you've been balling out. And y'all won championships and still ain't go nowhere. Why is this team the only team where guys don't go anywhere? Why is it that when guys play on the losing teams in the same league, we'll get opportunities to play in the NFL, Canadian football? You know why? Because he don't want you to succeed and go higher than where you're at, because he feels like he can hold you back here, and this is what's best for you. You're not God, bruh. You know what I mean?
Well,
So
the crazy part is, and I'm sure you can attest to this, is some people in those realms believe that they are untouchable, and in those, and so like when you are untouchable, you do things and say things and not care, and you know what I mean. And I think that's. Can you attest to that? Just some people feel untouchable in places like that.
it's true. There's people in the world, they feel like that.
Yep.
They feel like they're ahead, and they feel like they can be above, and it's like, no, you cannot, because God will take it away from you. It may look good for this amount of years, but if He say no more coaching for you,
Yep.
for something you did, or if He want to take your life away, if God want to do that, then there's no more. And it really don't matter
It
at that point. So sometimes people got to be careful with that if they're not actually seeing it or understanding it, because they're so high off of what they're doing. It's like a high. It's like a high. Like, I'm getting high off this. So now they're just like, they're on it, they're feeling it, they're flowing in it. But it's like, that's not God's intentions, bro.
Yeah,
You know
because
what I
when
mean?
you're
That's not
that
the
high,
intention.
I mean, it really doesn't matter what you do, right? It's justified. The outsiders looking in will justify it either way.
For sure.
Yeah.
And again, if you get wins on the board, oh, you're doing a great job.
Yeah. Yeah. Even if, like you said, you got a sucky team, but they were Golden Stars. They're the face of the team. Your team sucks, but they're the face of the team, and that's why they end up in the NFL or higher.
Yeah, and it's like, it's crazy how we'll see that. And I remember one week, it's funny that I'm talking about this, but one week the guys were complaining about it. That's how I knew. They were complaining that other guys were getting looks and no one on the team was.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, that's because he's trying to keep y'all here. He's trying to make it good for y'all. We got everything, and this is now we operate. It's like, bro,
It's hard to,
I'm not
yeah,
gonna.
that's really hard to not think you the man. It's kind of hard not to get that head when you're
Yeah,
a college athlete. You're your face is everywhere all over campus. You're getting all the girls. You know what I mean? You getting the life of the parties. It's kind of hard not to get that head, wouldn't you say?
yeah, for sure.
No matter
And
if
that's
you're
what.
winning or losing, right?
And that's why I'm just like
And then you
playing on
transfer
the
to the
team.
NFL, and if you are a star, all of that's amplified.
Times 10, yep, amplify, you're right. And that's what it was like when we were playing in Arizona. And it was cool. Like, I don't regret the experience, but I seen what not to do
Yeah.
and what to be around. And it was just like, y'all blind, bruh. Like, all y'all can't see.
Or don't
And
want to.
or
Well,
don't want
do
to.
you think that it was more so people didn't want to see or that they couldn't see? Like, which was the majority?
Both.
Both. Yeah. Equal.
Because they were too infatuated with the going out of the girls. It's like, bro,
And the looming of NFL, too.
yeah, and it's just like, okay. Because I played with the guy, Fred Williams. He's pretty good. That's my dog. He's from Milwaukee. Played in the NFL. He played some arena, played in the NFL, then he played with me in Arizona. And just seeing that, he was a guy producing and he ended up leaving. It was like he wasn't happy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you could
Mhm.
just tell it's like, dang, he's balling and he
Yeah.
still ain't happy. So you already know it ain't right. And he had said it. He said, DeAndre, they're never going to get no players like me, you, or Darren. They just not.
They don't
Because it
want
is what it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
They never going to get players like they just never going to get guys like us. And that's it. And I think we were just like, we would hang out, but we were just different. We were just wanting to keep it real, like 100% real. And you could see the other guys that weren't. It's like they wanted attention. It's
Yeah.
like,
You could. I think there's probably a separate list for the NFL. It's kind of like a personality list versus the combine. You know what I mean? Like the combine's like athletics. You know what I mean? Check offs. But I'm pretty sure they have like a personality kind of thing now. You know what I mean? Like a follower thing. Does he listen to the coaches? Does you know what I
for
mean?
sure.
I think that's a huge aspect in drafting. You know what I mean? Because I would think you might see this. You get kind of the same similar personalities on teams, huh?
For sure. I think when I was in Green Bay, we were more balanced. Tampa Bay, more party mindset.
I mean, then
And
you blame them?
Tennessee was more balanced,
Hmm.
like more like family togetherness, like cool. You know what I mean? So I could
Yeah,
tell the difference.
I can
And
see that.
I always felt like Tennessee was like the place I would want to play again
True.
because it just felt like that was home. I was like, yeah, if I play again, I play in Tennessee Titans. That was perfect. You know what I mean? They seemed like they got it right. Um, just the players, the dynamic, the feeling,
Now,
it just all
you
felt
made
right.
Tennessee your home now, right?
Yeah, I live
You
in
from Cali,
Memphis.
right? You from Cali, right?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Okay,
sir.
you got a nice little feel over there, huh?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so you're a Tennessee fan?
Titans, yeah. I always say Green Bay, but then I like the Titans. I like the Titans, but I'm more players. As I got older, I just started liking players.
Same. Once you just get coherent, you know what I mean? You're like, why am I rooting for a whole team? I mean, you know what I mean?
Right.
But it's fun. It's fun to do, but I'm the substance in it is kind of lacking. You know what I mean? I'm just watching people do what I would wish I could do right now.
Right.
But it's still all entertainment. I enjoy the games. I enjoy the sports. I still play pickup, obviously, but it's crazy that you have all these people entertaining us and nobody cares about their well-being. You know what I mean?
That's
I mean, though that's contradicting when I want them to smack each other on the field, but but their makeup, their genetic person, their being, their human life is basically not cared about as we're watching these people perform for us. You know what I mean?
right.
I think that's crazy. So I mean, basically with these athletes all around you and after you got out and you started on this mental health journey and actually empowerment journey and all this other stuff, have you noticed people reach out to you and kind of ask you about certain stuff, either current athletes or retired athletes, kind of like yourself?
Um, you just mean like about my journey,
Well, no,
or
they
just
they come out and ask you about mental health stuff. You know what I mean?
um
Or certain things in that realm.
former athletes or coaches or anything like that?
Yeah.
I'd say I wouldn't say they would reach out. I think it's more so me speaking about it, or me meeting former athletes or having conversation with them, or like my former teammates. One of my homeboys, man, we met in Tennessee. He played tight end with me, and we've had those conversations before.
How
You
do
know
those
what I
go?
mean? Huh?
How do those go? Just
Pretty good.
judging other athletes, headspace on that.
Just pretty calm and like transparent. Like we able to see eye to eye. It's like, okay, I get it. Like, dang, we was going through this, or coaches would do this or they would say this thing and players would feel like they were this person or, just different things that we're able to see now. It's like, wow.
That feels
Like,
basically it should feel good to get that off your chest after a while. Some of the people that never talk about that. You got some of your athlete friends that never talk about that kind of stuff or never have a safe space to talk about that stuff. That's one of the biggest things that I do in my business is create a safe space for all kinds of people. You know what I mean?
for sure.
I
Yeah.
think there should be more talks like that.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Even one of my other teammates, he was with me in Tennessee and he's playing this year indoor, and just even talking to him, I could just tell like he's thinking a lot about past, 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 and I'm like, dang. Like, you know what I mean? Like I've
Yeah,
been through that, but I've came out of it, and it's like, yeah, bro, like, and sometimes people just need to get it off their chest,
I'm glad
and
you're
they just
able to
need,
help these guys.
yeah, and they just need an understanding and just to hear it, and they probably gonna receive it from me because it's like we were teammates. So now it's like, dang, maybe I'm not sounding like I was before, or maybe because I would be quiet. Sometimes I quiet keep a lot of stuff to myself,
Most people.
but it's like now that I'm expressing it to him, and then it's like he gets a calm from it. It's like, dang, okay, I get it,
That
and
vulnerability.
yeah, at the end of the day, they still got to put in the work and do the work,
Mhm.
to get
But
out of it.
bringing certain stuff to light to somebody's mind space is one of the biggest things you can do, anyways. Because, like you said, one of the biggest things is being coherent in your journey, in your process, in what you want to do, knowing yourself. You know what I mean? So it it definitely is good to have those conversations, and it's good that you're giving people the space for it. You know.
Definitely.
So that's what I want to do in my journey for empowerment is people like athletes who, like I said, you're talking about people weren't talking about this back in the day. People were talking about past. It's finally you are giving them a space in a corner just because you guys finally met up in a while. You know what I mean? These
Right.
that you got like one or two or three athletes like every other season. It's more frequent now, but every other season saying, "Hey, I got to take a break for my mental." That's way too little. It's way too
Right.
little when we have all these athletes that go through similar journeys that you've been through, or more pressured journeys. You know what I mean? In different limelights, different occupations, different sports. But we need to have these talks because it becomes more normal. It's just getting to the point where people are getting shunned for coming out. Oh, you want to take a break? I wanted to see you this week. What?
Right.
You know what I mean? That's not fair. So these conversations need to be more normal so that people are just like, what the heck, Kyrie? Well, what the heck, Gabby Douglas? You know what I mean? Because these people need that, and then not only do they need that, D1 AA athletes need that. You know what I mean? D3 athletes need that. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Because it's not just superstars. I can think superstars. I wouldn't say this for sure because you never know, but they have their own issues. But then you're talking about the people trying to get to superstar status but can never really reach it as well. They have those kind of,
Right.
I'll never be able to reach that status kind of stuff. You see some people, some athletes trying to reach the top and just can't, and they just start breaking apart.
Yep. Because they feel like that's all they got, and I was at that position. I feel like NFL is all I had. So it's just knowing that you're more than what you're doing. You're more than your sport. You have a purpose in your life. So whatever you're passionate about, if it is sports or if it's physical fitness or becoming a performance trainer, performance coach, like how I'm doing, that's purpose in that. You're gifted to play that sport, but it was to help you get somewhere. This can be what I'm doing could be a everlasting thing because we're always going to be able to get greater and greater in it. Football, when you hit an age limit, you're done.
You're done.
Basketball, age limit, you're done.
You're done.
You know what I mean? Like you're done. You can't physically do it anymore.
I'll tell you the one thing about that though, and the same thing for what you're doing, is that impact that you make on people's lives. The only thing you can really have after, how rappers say these words gonna live forever. As athletes, you have videotape and all that stuff, but the impact, I mean, people that wanted to be Jordan, people that wanted to be Wilt Chamberlain, people that wanted to be Kobe. You know what I mean? That's that kind of impact. But with that impact, you want to leave the kind of in person that you are, the person that you are, the personality that you were, what kind of help, like you've been saying, what have you done for other people's journeys? You know what I mean? The kind of impact, is it negative or is it positive?
Right. That's true. That's the truth, man. It's a blessing because now it's like I'm even thinking when you said Jordan's name, I'm thinking how people always say, "Oh, I want to be like Michael Jordan. I want to be like this." It's like, nah, how about
His
you just be
personality
yourself?
sucks.
Yeah, but how about you just be yourself
That's true too.
and be greater than that?
Yeah.
But see, no, like people don't want to become greater. Like you could watch somebody and their every move and practice like them, but I'm gonna be me. I'm gonna be Diondre Borel when I go out on the field. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna be that person. Now I can practice their moves and all that, but I'm gonna be me because what God gave me inside of me is what's gonna make me
Yeah.
great.
You
So,
want people to wear your jersey. You know what I
so
mean? And yeah, the people strive to be what's already created. We need to strive to be what we create.
I
And
like that.
and a lot
You
of
need to
people
repeat that again. Repeat that again.
people I might have lost it. But people strive to be what's already created. We need to strive to be what we create. You know, and
Yes.
like you said it, which brought that upon because I like to do that. That's short and sweet. I'm trying to be a man of less words, but yeah, people really do try to already be what somebody already is. So they're role models, but as you said, we should try to be greater than that. Kind of like how dads want their kids to be greater than them. You know, we should
Right.
it no matter what it is. Like you said, not even just sports, not even just sports,
Like,
arts, life, in the independent skills. Because a lot of people don't have those. A lot of people lack independent skills, and that's one thing that has propelled my journey, my business, my empowerment for other people, my confidence, my ability to come up here and ask you to come up here and speak on taboo topics because the world needs it. The world needs it for sure.
hey man, for sure. I appreciate that. That's
So,
dope.
I mean, I'm good with this, man. I mean, you gave us some good nuggets. I really do appreciate you on here. We can probably chat it up another time, to be honest. Did
I
you
need
want to
some
give
better
us some?
lighting, man.
Yeah,
But
nah, you good. We know. You light,
but
you
uh
good. I
but we're
had to
gonna
set this all up. This all got to be a nice little mini light and all that. But I'm light skinned too. I got to play with the light too. It's gonna be
for
shining.
sure
Be looking like I
we
got lotion on or something.
we could do this again and just continue it. Hopefully we can create an event.
Yeah.
In-person event. I know at the MPN where you stay at again?
I'm up in Virginia, but if we could do
Virginia.
something, we could do something. I'm not worried about that.
Okay, yeah. Cause I know just gotta tap in with MPN and figure out what type of event we could do. And
So
then
many, so
something.
many. Some stuff for young athletes, up and coming. Because right now I'm doing a run slash walk slash community event that's going to be in October. And one thing we're doing is we're collabing with local heroes. We're giving them an award plus some up and coming seniors, giving them a chance at $1,000 scholarship just to motivate them to continue doing what they're doing. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And then they're going to be at a community event so they can start seeing and start working on those independent skills. You know what I mean? Seeing stuff like that. So that's the kind of stuff you could easily do, and people love those stuff. People give to things like that. You got nonprofits that are all around that'll do things like that. But we can definitely chat it up, man. There's definitely a lot of ideas I have. Definitely with the sports part of mental health, the all different kinds of empowerment. And I see that you do work with the mentoring. Mentoring is we can do some kind of mentoring event. There's so many
Sure.
different ideas, man. If your heart's in it, we can get it done. We can get it done.
Yeah, it's all good. We'll do it. We for sure could do it.
Okay. Any parting words for the people?
Man, just continue to be who you are. I just been posting the past couple days. My scripture has been Matthew chapter 20, verse 16. So the last shall be first, and the first shall be last. And if you've ever felt like you were last and it's been hard, God's going to put you first. So the last shall be first. So all the struggle, all the pain, all the fear, things that you didn't think were possible. God's making it possible for you, and He's going to show you. And I received that from my life. So that's me speaking to everybody who, whether they're watching, whether you post this, it's just
It's gonna get it posted.
the last shall be first, and the first shall be last. So that's really it. Matthew chapter 20, verse 16. If you want to read verses 1 through 16, read Matthew chapter 20, verses 1 through 16. And again, the last shall be first, and the first shall be last. And I know that to be true, and His word is going to come to pass. So for the people, again, there's going to be haters, there's going to be doubters, there's going to be people that don't want to see you win. Again, the last shall be first, and the first shall be last. And that's it. And that word is going to come to pass. And I truly believe it, because God's working in the midst of it.
Appreciate you. My man, Diondre Borel, thank you for all that you do, for real, brother, because the world needs it. People need it. People around you need it, and there's not many people doing it. So appreciate you,
Sure.
Sam. And we'll be back on here. I'm going to chat with you when we get off of this, all right?
All
Thank
right,
you,
it's all
everybody,
good.
for joining us on the first episode of our sports mental health Misfit Talk. All right, y'all. Get out of here.